I would call an artist entrepreneur for the
I
most
see
part.
what you're saying. I understand. I looked at it differently. When I started writing music, I would get royalty checks, and royalty checks was coming in every 3 months. And when I first got my first royalty check, I went out, bought a brand new car, didn't understand finance, didn't understand debt. Came out about 3 months later, and my car was misplaced. They had repoed it. And came out, thought I misplaced my car. And I went out and looked at it, looked for it, and found out that they had repoed it. And at that point, I realized that I didn't want to be the one writing the music. I wanted to be able to control the finances. And so I started really understanding money. And I vowed to never let another man take anything from me again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So through this career, what are some of the things you've done in your career from the music, writing?
Yeah, so I started out as a barber. So I would play in a local church, write music, and I was in barber school. And then after I became a barber, what I started doing was I wanted to understand money. Yeah. So I would set up, back then the haircuts was only $20, but I would set envelopes in my car, and I would at the time it was $20, break the $20 down. I would do 10, 10, 20, 60, 10, 10, 20, 60, 10, 10, 20, 60. The first tenth, I grew up in the church, so the first tenth was to God. The second tenth was to savings. 20% was fun money, so you wouldn't be a slave to the work. And then 60% I used for my bills. And so I would do that righteously. So if you take $1 and plant a seed, it'll grow another $1. Take $5 and plant it, it'll grow another $5. And so I did that righteously for some time. There's a huge difference between commitment and dedication. And so I was committed. I was committed and dedicated. So it became habit. And what I realized is that everything is money, work, and brains. Money, work, and brains.
Money, work, and brains. Explain that.
Yeah. So you can have a great idea and no work ethic and no brains. You have nothing. You can have all the brains in the world, but no work ethic and no money. It'll still go nowhere. You can have the best work ethic and no money and no brains, and you still won't go anywhere. So everything is money, work, and brains. And so
I like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I did, and I evolved.
Yeah.
So the barbershop that I was working at, I ended up doing at the time I didn't know what it was called, but I ended up doing a leverage buyout on the barbershop. I utilized the barbers inside the barbershop because they was paying booth rent.
Yeah.
And I took on the debt of the building of the barbershop, and then let the guys that was cutting hair and paying booth rent to finance the barbershop for me.
Oh, so you want to buy in the barbershop, the building or the business?
The business itself, the contents inside.
Got it.
And then I turned around and sold it on paper as a promissory note and collateralized the assets inside the barbershop. And then I was able to take that note, utilize it.
Hold on, last question. We got to slow this down because
Sure.
Armani doesn't understand the collateralized and all that. So
Yeah.
we just got to break that down real quick.
Yeah. So there has to be something backing the note, right? So I sold the barbershop.
The note is
the promissory note to pay with interest.
So I own the barbershop. You give me a letter that says I promise to pay you.
You own the barbershop.
Okay.
I come to you, I say, listen, I want to buy you a barbershop.
Yep.
What you're getting is you have bills. So I'll tell you, I'll pay you X, but I'll take all your bills. And so I was able to buy that barbershop. Then I took that same barbershop, now I controlled the asset, and I knew there was somebody else that actually wanted to be that owned the barbershop. I took the assets, instead of letting them pay me full price, I sold it to them on paper with interest. And I collateralized the barber chairs and everything that was inside. And so I would get money for it every month. And that's my first acquisition.
And then just fast forward, you went into
what
else?
I ended up owning a car dealership. I ended up owning a finance company for the car dealership. I ended up buying real estate, learned real estate. learn how to flip houses, right? And then I got my license, and I think I built a subdivision. And then from there, I started taking the money that I had invested, 10, 20, 60. I put it in life insurance, and the life insurance has cash value. I was able to borrow against it and do some more acquisitions. So I've worked with, Jermaine Dupree. I've worked with Ron Isley. I've worked with, several different people.
Yeah.
And I was able to help bring money to the table to close those acquisitions.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Goodness gracious, this is getting good already. And finally, last but not least,